Hello friends, in the last video I discussed about what is star connection and what is delta connection and how we can transform star into delta and delta into star. In this video I will go to discuss about what is mesh analysis. Okay, mesh analysis is nothing but the analysis which is used to find the unknown currents in a loops in a circuit. Okay, before going to mesh analysis, let's see what is mesh. Okay, mesh means it is a loop which does not contain any inner loop. Simply say mesh means it's a loop. Okay, it is based on KVL and Ohm's law. The complete mesh analysis is based on KVL and Ohm's law. We already discussed what is KVL and what is Ohm's law in our previous videos. Okay, mesh analysis is used to find the unknown currents in loops in a circuit. There are some steps to find out the unknown currents by using mesh analysis. These are the 6 steps in mesh analysis. Let's see these steps one by one. First step, identify the number of loops in a given circuit. First, we have a circuit, then identify what are the different loops present in the circuit. Okay, first step is we have to identify the number of loops in a circuit. Next, mark the current direction in each loop either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Suppose we have two loops in a circuit. We have two loops in a circuit. Then second step we need to mark the current directions. Either we can mark in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Okay. But one thing you remember, we suppose we have two loops. In both loops we mark in same direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. One loop you mark as a clockwise and another loop is anti-clockwise. That's not applicable. Okay, that is not allowable. You have to mark two loops as anti-clockwise or clockwise. That is the second step. And the third step is mark the polarities for the source and the elements. Third step is we have to mark polarities. Polarity means plus or minus. Suppose we have capacitor like this. We have to mark polarities while finding the unknown currents by using mesh analysis. Suppose this is plus or this is minus. We have suppose voltage source here. We have to mark polarities minus plus like this. In the third step we have to mark polarities for the source and the elements. Okay, understand? Next, fourth step, if the current flows from negative to positive, assume the voltage sign is negative, and if current flows from positive to negative, assume the voltage sign is positive. Let's see an example. Let's consider a resistor. Suppose example, it is a positive polarity and it is a negative polarity. Suppose if our current is flowing from in this top to bottom, that is from positive to negative. If the current is flowing from positive to negative, then the polarity of the current is positive. Let us assume if the current flows from the negative to positive, from the down to up, if the current flows from the negative to positive, then the polarity of the current is negative. That is say that is present in fourth step. Again, see, if the current flows from negative to positive, assume the voltage sign is negative, and if the current flows from positive to negative, assume the voltage sign is positive. Okay, not only voltage sign, here we can say current sign also positive and negative. Okay, and the fifth step, it's a very important step, apply KVL and Ohm's law in each loop. After identify the all loops in a circuit and mark the current directions, after putting the polarities for each element and source, and find the current directions also, at the last we have to apply KVL and Ohm's law in each loop. Then we get some equations for applying KVL and Ohm's law for each loop. For one loop we have one equation. For two loops we have obtained two equations. For n number of loops in a circuit we have to obtain n equations. Okay, by applying KVL and Ohm's law. And the last step is solve the equations to get unknown currents. In fifth step, we get some equations by applying KVL and Ohm's law in a circuit, not a circuit, in each loop. For each loop, we can obtain one equation. By solving the all equations, we can get unknown currents. This is for mesh analysis, how to apply mesh analysis for a circuit and how we can find unknown currents. Okay, now we'll go to do one sum or one problem on mesh analysis, then we can clear about mesh analysis. Okay, let's see the example here. Determine currents in the circuit. Okay, here we have a circuit. Now we want to determine the currents in each loop in a circuit. Here we have a circuit. By using mesh analysis, we can find currents in each loop. First, according to mesh analysis, we have to follow the 6 steps. In the mesh analysis, we have 6 steps. We have to follow from first step 1 to step 6 to determine unknown currents. Let's see first step. In first step, identify the number of loops in a given circuit. Let's see here. There are 2 loops. This is one loop. This is one loop. And this is another loop. Okay. In the first step, identify the number of loops in a circuit. Here we have 2 loops. And next step, mark the current directions in each loop, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Next, we have to mark current directions in each loop. Current directions either clockwise or anti-clockwise. I am going to mark current direction in clockwise. Clockwise means in this direction. This is the current direction in loop. Let current in first loop is I1 and current in second loop is I2. Okay, second step is also over. And next, third step means mark the polarities for source and elements. Mark the polarities for source. Here already marked, this is minus and this is plus. And for elements, we have to mark polarities. Let this is plus and minus, and this is plus and minus, plus minus. Also here also have to mark polarities. It is plus and it is minus, and it is plus minus, plus minus. Okay, third step is also completed. We have already marked polarities for each element and source. And next fourth step, if the current flows from negative to positive, assume the voltage sign is negative, and if the current flows from positive to negative, assume the voltage sign is positive. This step is useful in fifth step. So we use this step in solving the KVL and Ohm's law. Okay, next fifth step, apply KVL and Ohm's law in each loop. Solve the equations to get unknown currents. Now we have to apply KVL and Ohm's law in each loop. First, consider the first loop. Apply KVL and Ohm's law in loop 1, first loop. Okay, according to KVL, the voltage raises equal to the voltage drops. Here consider first loop. What is the voltage raises? From source itself voltage is raises, voltage is produced. That is here 10 volts is produced from the source. 10 volts equal to voltage raises equal to the voltage drops. Voltage where in circuit, remember this point, voltage drops only at resistors. Okay, voltage drops only at resistors. Here we have in this loop, here we have one resistor, and here we have one resistor, and here we have one resistor. There are 3 resistors in this loop. That means in three resistors we have some voltage drop. How we can find the voltage at resistor means, we know according to Ohm's law V is equal to IR. Okay, first apply Ohm's law at this resistor. V equal to I means what is the current in this loop? I1. I means here I1, and R means 2. R is 2 here. Resistor 2I1 is the voltage at this particular resistor. 2I1 plus, let's see, consider this resistor. Here, observe, in this resistor, the two currents are flowing through this resistor. One is I1, another one is I2. This is the common resistor between two loops. That's why these two currents are also flowing through this resistor. I1 current is flowing in this direction and I2 current is flowing in this direction. That is, I1 and I2 are the opposite, are flowing in the opposite direction. In generally we have this formula for Ohm's law, but here we have two currents, that is also I1, I2. Those two are opposite in direction. That means the total current is equal to the I1 minus I2. If the currents are flowing in the same direction, then we can add these two currents, and if the currents flowing in the opposite direction, then we have to subtract that two currents. Okay, suppose V is equal to, here I1 minus I2 into R. Okay, here R is, what is R? R is resistance. Here 3 ohms is the resistance. For applying KVL and Ohm's law in this branch, we get 3 into I1 minus I2. I already said how this will obtain. Next last resistor in this loop is 4 ohms. Okay, what is the current flowing through this 4 ohms resistor? Is I1 current is flowing through this resistor. I1, consider this is I1 current. We know voltage across the resistor is equal to V is equal to I into R. V is equal to I means I1, R is 4. It is 4 I1. Let's simplify this. 10 is equal to 2I1 plus 3I1 minus 3I2 plus 4I1. Okay, next 10 equal to 2I1 plus 3I1 5I1 plus 4I1 9I1. 9I1 minus 3I2. Consider this as equation number 1. Next apply KVL in second loop. This is the second loop. Apply KVL in second loop. According to KVL, the voltage raises equal to voltage drops. Okay. In second loop, there is no voltage source. That means voltage raises equal to 0. In first loop, we have 10 volts is the voltage source, but in second loop, we don't have any voltage source. That means here voltage rises equal to 0, and voltage drops at all resistors. We know here in second loop 1 2 3 4 resistors we have. That is, in 4 resistors we have some voltage drop. Let's see. In first resistor, 5 ohms resistor, what is the current flowing through this 5 ohms resistor? Is I2 current is flowing through this 5 ohms resistor, and resistance is 5. That is, here apply Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. I is I2 and R is 5. That is 5I2. 5I2 plus, next consider 6 ohms resistor. Here resistance is 6 and current is I2. That is, voltage is 6I2. 6I2. Next consider 7 ohms resistor. The current flowing through this 7 ohms resistor is I2 and resistance is 7. That is, the voltage across this resistor is V is equal to IR formula. According to that, 7I2. 7I2. Next, consider this resistor. This 3 ohms resistor is common to this both loops. That means in 3 ohms resistor, both I1 is flowing through this resistor and I2 also flowing through this resistor. Okay. Consider this one also. Here I1 is flowing in this direction from top to bottom, and I2 is flowing from in this direction from bottom to top. That is, I1 and I2 both are opposite in direction. That means we have to take difference between the I2 and I1 as the total current in the 3 ohms resistor. Okay, it is 3 into I2 minus I1. Let's simplify this. 5I2 plus 6I2 plus 7I2 plus 3I2 minus 3I1. Okay, here minus 3I1 is there, minus 3I1. 5I2 plus 6I2 11I2, 11I2 plus 7I2 18I2, 18I2 plus 3I2 21I2, 21I2. Consider this is the equation number 2. Now in order to find the unknown currents, here unknown currents is I1 and I2, we have to solve these equations 1 and 2. For solving these equations, we can use Casio scientific calculator. I will show how we can find I1 and I2 by using scientific calculator. Okay, let's see here. We have scientific calculator. We can find I1 and I2 unknowns by using the scientific calculator. Okay, I will show how to find. First, press mode setup, and here in 5 we have equation. Okay, let's press 5, and it is a second order equation. That means we can press 1 as a second order equation. Here 1, press 1. Sorry, something is wrong. Okay, wait. Okay, now let's see how to find I1 and I2 through Casio. First go to mode setup and press 5 as a equation. Press 5 as a equation, and here it is, these two are second order equations. That's why we select 1 is the second order equation. Okay, 1. In first row we have to fill quotients of the first equation. Okay, first is I1 quotient. I1 quotient is minus 9. Okay, the next I2 quotient is, sorry, I1 quotient is not a minus 9, it's a just normal 9, and I2 quotient is minus 3, and here constant is 10. And then next second equation, I1 quotient is minus 3, and I2 quotient is 21, and here constant is 0. Here we have answers as x and y, but here we have I1 and I2. Let's consider x is a I1 and y is a I2. It means I1 equal to 7 by 6 and I2 equal to 1 by 6. These are the unknown currents what we have to find. I1 is the current flowing through the first loop and I2 is the current flowing through the second loop. That is 7 by 6 and 1 by 6. This is how we can find the unknown currents using mesh analysis. In the next video also, we will go to solve one more problem on mesh analysis. After that, we will go to solve what nodal analysis. Okay, thank you.